And so how is that, like, from your perspective? I'm going to lend my money out to somebody and trust that they do a good job and that they return it and more.
No, you trust nobody. Trust nobody. Your guarantee is the collateral.
And liftoff at dawn, the dawn of Orion, and a new era of American space exploration.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Adrian Mendoza.
Hello, my name is PJ Arcos, native San Antonian, twice the age of Adrian here. I guess that's a fun fact.
I guess that's a fun fact. Yeah, I'm 42.
Oh yeah, right. So yeah, we actually met in real estate school, and that's how I ended up here.
PJ is actually an investor, right?
That's right.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into investing?
I guess I became an investor because I like real estate, first of all. I had always wanted to do it since I graduated from college, and had my first job as a construction manager building houses here locally for a production home builder. And I just saw the ability to build something on your own and create something and build upon that creation to be your own thing. And actually my boss, Gordon Hartman, who owned Gordon Hartman Homes, was my inspiration. He actually started his own company when he was 19. He was 19 years old. He was cutting grass, and he saved his money and built his first home on close to Woodlawn Lake. And he built after that, he built a few investment properties, duplexes.
Oh, okay.
And they're still there today. And he just grew from there, all on his own.
Nice.
And so that was my inspiration, and that's what I want to do.
Well, you were born and raised
Born and raised here, left in 2005, and now we're back. We came back in 2018.
2018 from Washington, from Seattle, Washington State.
Yeah.
And so you were a construction manager up until you went, up until you moved to Seattle? Actually,
I told you that I was very interested in real estate investment. I actually did become a realtor. In 99, I took classes at SABOR, 1999, and I had my license until 2006. I sold one house.
Wow.
I sold one house, but I did have my license. When we moved to Seattle, it obviously expired. My license expired. For a short period of time, I did have my license, but I was still doing construction. Residential construction, commercial, medical, warehouse, industrial. I pretty much have run the gamut of construction. I joined a club in Seattle, Washington called REAPS, the Real Estate Association of Puget Sound, where a lot of like-minded investors, money people, realtors, flippers, landlords, they all gathered together, and we listened to speakers and networked and tried to make insider deals and partnerships and stuff like that.
On that, would you, because I know with YouTube now, I mean, that was in 2006? Yeah,
2006 till 2015 I was a member of REAPS. Yeah.
And so because I'm pretty sure in every city, if there's people looking to get involved in real estate investing and stuff like that, I think, and I mean, it's smart. First you want to get as much free knowledge as possible, and there's like really great podcasts and YouTube channels like Bigger Pockets. There's Graham Stephan and Meet Kevin from California. But what's your experience like? Being in an actual like investing or investors kind of club or association versus like the knowledge you get for free from like podcasts like that. Well,
along the same lines as having being in a classroom setting It's more dynamic. You get to interact with people. You're interacting with the instructor. Same thing with real estate investments. When you join a club, like I did, you get to go meet people. You network with people. You listen to great speakers who come in talking about flipping, 401k, investing their 401ks, investing in mobile home parks, all different kinds, investing in notes. You don't have to buy physical property. You can actually just buy the mortgages of homes that are, or not just homes, but commercial properties too.
That's true.
So you actually get to know people as opposed to just watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm a hands-on learner. I have to take the classes and I have to go meet people. I became a member of the local real estate investment club here called Alamo RIA. I don't know if I'm supposed to plug.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Alamo RIA.
And like, what's the membership like for Alamo RIA?
It's pretty neat. It's very diverse. You have a lot of realtors who are looking for business. You have a lot of investors who are there to learn and to network and find money, find partners, find deals, because people come in with a home to sell. There might be someone who's interested in buying that house. Someone has money to lend. That guy needs money to build or to flip a house.
Oh, right, cool.
So that's the neat thing about joining the local club.
And the cost of something like that, like for example, the Alamo RIA?
Alamo RIA, I pay about, I think it's just above $200 a year.
A year?
Yeah. And I guess it's a pretty good deal considering they have one main meeting a month, but they have satellite meetings each month also. So they get more specific, like women investors. They have their own group that they meet once a month. People who are interested in buying, again, multifamily, they have their own little groups. So all these groups meet each month, and then there's a main meeting where everybody goes.
Cool.
And it's pretty neat. And for $200 a year, I think it's a pretty good investment.
Yeah, it's like a little bit over a Netflix subscription, because that kind of goes to around maybe $18 a month, $200 a year, somewhere around there, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's a good investment.
Yeah.
But I like how you said it right now. You network and there's people who need money, and you kind of feel like that. I was like, so I want to talk about that. How did you amass your ridiculous wealth? No, how did you become an investor? Because that's one of the things that when we met at real estate school, he introduced himself to the class. He said, I'm an investor. And I think that the professor asked, like, oh, what do you do? And he said, I loan my money out to investors. And I was like, I mean, like, I'm not saying anything, but I was just like, wait, what? Like, what is he? Be like Bruce Wayne or something?
A far cry.
Yeah.
No.
So it just threw me off, because in my mind, and I think in a lot of people's minds, somebody who like lends money out, it's like, all right, well then you at least have like, I don't know, $1 million, let's say. That's what I just thought of. If somebody were to tell me I lend money out for a living, I just say, oh, okay, cool. He's a millionaire, right? But I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to have PJ here to talk about that and how he does it, and maybe somebody can get inspired from hearing what he's about to say. So how does that work out? How do you lend money out?
Okay, so my age has a lot to do with it. I'm an older, I'm 51 years old. I've had a career in construction, which, did pretty well. I did pretty well financially in the construction field. And it's just, a matter of amassing wealth. You're amassing your savings, your 401ks, throughout your life. You guys are young, you're going to be doing that. You're going to be doing it too. Maybe some people quicker than others. But that's my secret, a career in construction, buying and selling 2 houses, and then selling a house in the Seattle market, and then coming to the San Antonio market. You can make a lot of money. The house that we sold in Seattle, I could buy, a $600,000 house here. So, it translates. The Seattle market, real estate market, is very high, very expensive. And being there for 13 years, we saw a great appreciation. In our property value.
Yeah.
So when we bought it in 2008, we actually crashed. The real estate crash.
Right.
We actually were underwater. If you've heard that term before, we were underwater on our mortgage. I actually wanted to walk away from the house. I think it's called a strategic foreclosure, where you basically just hand the keys over to the bank.
Oh yeah.
And walk away. You're not, you can afford it. We were able to afford the payments, but it made no sense because we paid this amount, but the house was only worth this amount, and we were making payments on a house that was worth this amount. Mm-hmm. And
would sharing the number be a little too much, you think?
We bought it for $310,000 in 2007, and by 2009 the house was worth $150.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So so we're making payments on a house, on a mortgage worth $310,000, but the house is only worth $150. But through the encouragement of my wife, she did not want to walk away because she thought that was very immoral, which, thinking back, maybe it was immoral to just walk away from that. Yeah. So she convinced me to stick it out. And we actually made improvements to the house along the way. Wow. Because we did buy an old house.
That's faith.
Yeah. It was a 1,200 square foot house, built in 1928.
Wow.
We held on to it, although reluctantly, and we did make improvements to the house. And then by 2018, we sold the house for $525,000. So that's the money that we're investing.
Yeah. Wow.
The profits that we made from selling our house in the Seattle market. We brought here, and we're using that money to loan to flippers and other investors.
Were you doing investing in Seattle?
No, never did, because at one point we were underwater.
Right.
And then when things started looking better, then we started renovating our house. All right. So all of our money that I made in construction, that my wife made in being a teacher, we put all that money into the house. We rode out the recession. We saw our value coming back up, and so that's all we did. I never had an opportunity to actually invest any money in the Seattle market, but I did learn a lot because I did go to those meetings, and I just listened to a lot of the speakers and took notes, and I think I have maybe a couple binders worth of notes that I've taken over the years, nice. Just sitting in on those meetings. And I was approached a few times. People ask you, why are you here? Mm-hmm. And I tell them, well, I'm interested in investing. And their next question is, well, do you want a partner? And I was like, well, I don't have money. You don't have to just have money. You can have expertise. Mm-hmm. Like another angle I was approaching was, I could be your construction manager.
All right.
If you're a flipper investor, and then you have someone who you can partner with, and maybe you don't know a whole lot about construction, mm-hmm. I could come in as an equity partner and come in and manage the project for you.
Yeah.
That was one aspect I was trying to sell to some of the investors.
Did you get to do that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
And even if I did, I in retrospect, I was pretty busy with my own job,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have been hard to actually be a construction manager for these.
Yeah.
So maybe in a good way, I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that was one aspect that I was looking at. Yeah.
Cool.
So it wasn't until we came back to San Antonio, planning on coming back before we even sold our home. I had spoken with my wife about not buying a house right away, but renting and then using the money to do what I'm doing now, is loaning it to investors here. So we came with that in mind, with that plan. It took a little while to find those investors, but they did come through, and I've got today I've invested in 3 projects.
3 projects.
So,
wow.
so
And
yeah.
that, I mean, that's only been in a year and maybe a half.
Well, a
Almost
little
2
over
years?
2. Oh wait, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, a little over a year and a half.
A little over a year and a half.
Yeah.
3 projects.
Yeah.
That's about a project per 5 months. So I mean, that's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I would say it's a lot. Yeah, it's
I feel like it's not enough, because I did come with these grandiose ideas that we would be making a lot of money just off of the interest.
Mhm.
But in reality, projects are really slow.
Yeah.
It takes about 6 months, anywhere from 4 to 6 months for a project to develop and to finish.
Yeah.
And so I'm not killing it
Yeah.
I was hoping I'd be killing it.
But
the income is nice.
Yeah, and you're setting the foundation and the base of, like, because it's all just going to start building up,
Yeah.
exponentially. And so, where did you meet these investors?
At Alamo Ria,
At Alamo
at that real estate club.
Wow.
I met them there. They were 2 guys who spoke that one evening.
Mhm.
And the company name is Prime Homes, and they do quite a few flips per year. And they have different avenues. They flip to sell,
Flip to sell.
and then they renovate to hold for rental income,
Mhm.
and then they also take on partners.
Okay.
But they're always looking for money too.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a bank that finances
Oh,
flippers.
Yeah.
So they need other avenues for money.
Yeah. It's like what they call, like, hard money.
Yeah.
Hard money
So yeah,
lending.
that's what I do.
And so how is that, like, from your perspective? I mean, when you first thought of that, I mean, is it kind of like scary?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to lend my money out to somebody
Yeah.
and trust that they do a good job and that they return it and more.
No, you trust nobody.
Trust. Okay.
Trust nobody. Your guarantee is the collateral. So the houses that they were going to flip were mine. I gave them the money, and I held the note. The notes are mine. A promissory note.
Uh-huh.
They get the deed of trust, but there's a lien against the property. The property is the collateral.
Yeah.
If they fail to deliver, then I could either foreclose or the property becomes mine. Wow. So yeah, that's to trust somebody. I guess it would be more like, hey, I'm gonna flip this house over here. Do you mind loaning me some money? I'm like, sure, here you go. Here's some money. There's no contract. There's no collateral. There's nothing involved. Of that nature. That's more trust.
Yeah.
But no, there's when I loan them the money, there's a contract.
Contracts, of course.
The contract is what's the word? It's recognized by the county clerk.
Recorded.
It's recorded through the county that PJ Arcos and Prime Homes have a contract. If Prime Homes doesn't pay, then PJ Arcos gets his money or the property kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool.
In simple terms, that's the way we work things out.
So then it's not really like scary at all. I mean, it is still kind of like a risk, but
Yeah.
it's not like, you're going to end up with nothing. You'll at least,
It's still
worst
risky.
case,
Yeah, it's still risky. Because then if they do end up defaulting, well, now it's upon you, the investor, to get the foreclosure proceedings going. It's up to you as the investor to, talk to the flipper, ask him what's going on. Maybe you have to be kind of a bad guy.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, how does it? Because I know, like, you obviously want to, have that relationship and keep it, and you want for it to be a relationship, but a fruitful one.
Yeah,
and it's like,
so we can do
helping
more.
each other. Yeah. But there are those moments where you have to kind of come down hard, maybe, and be like, hey, what's going on?
Exactly.
And I know. I don't know if you want to talk about this, by the way, it was like looking like it's not working.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't realize I told you that.
Yeah.
So,
we don't have to talk
about it. No, we can talk about it.
Right, cool.
So, because it's kind of like, what's happening or what we just talked about.
The ups and downs.
Yeah, the ups and downs. So, a company that will not be mentioned, company name will not be mentioned, but they've defaulted on a project, new construction. Me and several other investors loaned them money for the land. And then they were supposed to get other investors to loan them money for the actual construction.
Okay.
But they got slowed down by the city and by the neighborhood association where this land is. The neighborhood association, they wanted to know what they were building, how tall the buildings were. Are they going to conform to the rest of the neighborhood? Just a lot of pushback from the neighborhood association. And then the city required a lot of information, a lot of documentation for what exactly they wanted to build there. And so because of the delay, they passed their deadline, their project deadline. And so the contract stated that if they default, which they did, that the investors, the money people, could either foreclose on the property and it become ours, or they could continue with the project but at a higher interest rate on the money.
Okay.
So that's what we agreed to. We came together after they defaulted. We had a meeting at Jim's restaurant and decided that we'd give them a 3-month extension, but at 18% interest.
Oh.
Yeah. So now they're paying us 18% interest monthly until they're able to sell the property or have other investors come in, buy us out, and then continue with the project. So at the end of 3 months, we hope that they're able to get the money they need to replace the initial investors and then continue with the project. That includes the land and the construction of the 3 houses. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So then that's the third project you're working on.
Yep.
And do you see any other lined up right now?
Not right now. Not on the horizon. My wife and I want to buy a house.
All right.
But the good thing is that doesn't stop us from investing, because what we can actually do is if we buy a house cash, we can turn around and borrow that money to loan out again.
Yeah.
So if we're paying a HELOC at 4% interest, we can loan the money out at 10% interest, and we're making 6% on our money at least.
That is smart right there.
So now you have a loan on your house that you have to pay monthly, but you also have your money out there, and fingers are crossed that they'll pay so that you can pay your mortgage.
Yeah. And
then when they pay out, you get your money back, then you can pay your mortgage, and then you're back to square one where you own your home free and clear.
really cool.
Mhm.
Pretty inspiring too that you're getting to do that right now and everything. You know, there's a lot of ways to get there,
Hmm.
but you know, your way is just one of them.
My way seems like it's the typical way.
A typical way.
Yeah. Rarely do you find the millionaire who's willing to invest their money. Rarely, I don't think lottery winners do this. I think they get their lottery winnings and take off. You know, I don't think they're interested in real estate.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. Who knows? But then you do find the doctor, the lawyer, who wants to invest their money. The biomedical scientist who wants to invest her money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those people who have a lot of money, you know, might want to invest in real estate, and then you can work with them in partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you ever see yourself being at this point?
Yes. Yeah, because this is where I've wanted to be for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be in the real estate business, either as a direct investor or as an indirect investor, loaning money.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, I feel like I am living the American dream right now. This is, you know, again, like, you know, something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I'm doing it.
When do you see yourself like stopping?
Stopping?
Or, you know, I guess, right, it's like a weird question to ask because it's like you're kind of almost barely getting started.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
like, what is your end goal from now?
My end game is to own. Now it's changed from time to time, but currently, and when I say changed, you know, over like a 10 to 20 year period, you know, at first I just wanted to build houses, and sell them. And now in my old age, in my, you know, we're winding down. My wife and I are winding down. I just want to now own property, income producing property, duplexes, fourplexes, maybe even bigger units, and just live off of the income that those produce. So that's my end game today. As a 51-year-old semi-retired man, own enough properties where the income supports my wife and I, where we don't have to work anymore.
Awesome things.
And there's this thing called legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to leave our kids something too. You know, in the end, when my wife and I are gone, I would like to have these properties left to our children, and then they can build upon that, and then the next generation, you know, their kids can build upon that, and then so
that's cool.
It would be really nice to be financially independent as a 20-year-old. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I would like to maybe see my grandchildren financially independent. Work is good. Work is important. It's a moral thing to do, to work, but not to have to depend on a paycheck for your livelihood. I think that's the important thing of family, is a family helps to uplift their future generations. And I'm hoping that's what I can do for my kids.
Wow.
My grandfather did that for us, so I want to keep paying it down.
Keep paying it forward.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's it's very beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you.
Beautiful. It's actually funny right now that you said end game. You know, because I thought of Avengers and I thought of I think it was one of the first things I ever told you when I met you. I think that's literally how, because he was sitting in front of me in class.
Oh yeah, I look like the bad guy.
No, actually, no, you're not the bad guy. I said, hey, PG, has anybody ever told you you look like Doctor Strange? And he's actually a good guy.
Oh, is he? I thought he was a bad guy.
No, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Okay, because in one of the movies, one of those superhero movies, it's Star Trek. Star Trek. He plays
Star Trek.
Han. He's the bad guy.
Does he look like Benedict Cumberbatch? I think he does.
I get confused for Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It was really cool having you on the
Well, thanks for having me.
podcast. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And cool. So thanks guys for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other kind of content you'd like to see next. and have a nice day.
Cool.
And liftoff at dawn, the dawn of Orion, and a new